Hi friends, it's Brother Peter with the Weekly Reflection. Tonight I'm not even going to call it a Gospel Reflection because I want to share a little bit with you about a really fantastic holy person who lived in Poland within our lifetime, within my lifetime at least, maybe if you're very young, not within your lifetime. Father Jerzy Popieluszko. But before I go into that, I really just want to say I haven't done the reflection in a couple weeks, and there's a reason for it. For the past 2 weeks, I've come home and opened my news or whatever, which maybe I shouldn't do that before I go to sleep. But a couple of weeks ago, I tuned into the news to see northern Gaza being decimated by the Israelis. Then last week, I came home from a concert, a really wonderful concert, Billy Bragg. My friend Kathy got us tickets. It was a great concert. Billy Bragg came out on stage, by the way, and said, release all hostages and ceasefire now, which I thought was great. But that evening, the Israelis were burning down a hospital with people inside of it. And not only did I see a young man burned to death, but I could hear his screams and the screams of the other people inside of the hospital. And I think we have gone crazy. I think we've completely lost our moral compass as a country. And I cannot believe that we're not all in the streets protesting this violent and absurd, barbaric insanity. And we're paying for it. You know, you drive around the roads in the United States, everything is crumbling apart. That's where our money is being dumped to hurt people in Gaza, women, kids. This is the greatest sin of our lifetime. This will be the greatest sin, the greatest war crime of the century, in my estimation. So, needless to say, I did not feel like giving an upbeat gospel reflection on those 2 Sunday mornings because I was absolutely devastated knowing these things are happening completely beyond my control, but that the president that I voted for is endorsing this ridiculous slaughter. So I pray not only for peace, I pray for justice for the people of Palestine and the Middle East. I pray for the release of the hostages of Israel. I pray for the end of tribal, barbaric, primitive, insane, extremist religion. My own included, extremist religion of all stripes. But here's why I wanted to hop on today. I want to introduce you to the life of Jerzy Popieluszko, and if you're not familiar with him, he was a martyr. Jerzy Popieluszko was killed by the communist government in Poland for standing up for justice for the people. And so I want to read a nice little piece that was published in Blessed Among Us. The end of the communist era in Eastern Europe began in June 1979 when Pope John Paul II, newly elected Pope from Poland, returned to his homeland for the first of 3 visits. As communist authorities stood by helplessly, millions turned out to hear the Pontiff's message. Do not be afraid to insist on your rights. Refuse a life based on lies and double thinking. Do not be afraid to suffer with Christ. Within a year of his visit, the militant Solidarity trade union movement was born. Father Jerzy had not previously taken an active part in politics, but when steel workers in Warsaw chose to support the striking ship workers in Gdansk, he volunteered to celebrate Mass at their factory. It was a turning point in his life. The workers' struggle for justice, he realized, was truly a spiritual struggle. He became their chaplain. Father Jerzy accompanied this solidarity struggle through martial law and persecution. Though he himself was repeatedly interrogated and threatened with arrest, he refused to seek asylum abroad. The priest is called to bear witness to the truth, he said, to suffer for the truth, and if need be, to give up his life for it. On October 19th, 1984, he was abducted by security police, beaten, and drowned in a reservoir. 5 years later, in the first free elections in Poland, a solidarity government was elected. Father Jerzy was beatified in 2010. And this is a quote from Father Jerzy. "It is not enough for a Christian to condemn evil, cowardice, lies, and the use of force, hatred, and oppression. He must at all times be a witness to and defender of justice, goodness, truth, freedom, and love. He must never tire of claiming these values as a right, both for himself and others." And that's a quote, beautiful quote from Father Jerzy Popieluszko. And tonight I'll pray for the intercession of Father Jerzy and keeping everyone safe from harm in Gaza and other places, and everywhere in the world where civilians are being brutally harmed by members of the military. You know what? I grew up with a military father. My father was a Marine. I would never imagine that my fathers and my uncles would be involved in anything. Maybe they were, I don't know, I doubt it. But would have signed on to anything like the insanity that's happening. Tonight in Gaza, I guarantee you, babies are being killed. It's hell on earth. So if you can do anything to stand against that, I hope you do that this week. This week, I hope you work for peace. I hope you pray for peace. I hope you live peace. You create that peace. Remember that Jesus walked into the room in the resurrection. Firstly, Jesus walks into the resurrection. How? Wounded. Because Jesus stands with the suffering. So I hope you try to impart that same peace, that deep shalom, the type of shalom that Jesus was imparting upon entering the room. He himself being the Prince of Peace. So let's try to create that peace. Remember that you and I are the resurrection. It's our responsibility to create resurrection. So let's try to embody that shalom and spread peace this week. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this reflection, and peace, peace, peace.